Today's My Health segment brought to you by Choose for Health, the world's first super fruit, sea, vegetable, antioxidant, chewable dietary supplement.
If you ever hear a doctor say you have cancer, it's something that can strike paralyzing fear into your heart. But imagine if you were told that not only once, but twice. Then imagine that the second time you heard that deadly diagnosis, the doctors were actually wrong. Joining us now is a familiar face who's lived those traumatic experiences. Actress and New York Times best-selling author, Suzanne Summers. Suzanne, welcome to the show. And I'd like to say how thankful I am that those doctors were wrong.
And not as thankful as I am.
Well, we're talking with you today about your new book, Knockout, which contains your interviews with doctors who are actually curing cancer and information that you've gathered about how you believe we can prevent getting cancer in the first place. Now, your book focuses mostly on alternative medicine, not that traditionally accepted chemotherapy and radiation, so it's a bit controversial.
You know, I'm getting attacked, and this book is being called controversial. To me, what's really controversial is to continue to give people treatments that are not successful in the end, that so degrade quality of life. And I don't understand how we can raise billions and billions of dollars and that they haven't come up with something better than extending life by a few months, and that's all they can say.
Now, your new book is loaded with information that you and the doctors that you trust truly believe can save lives.
Information for we lay people is so powerful. If I had been a different kind of patient, I would have taken that full-body chemotherapy they offered me this November for a lung cancer that had metastasized throughout my body that I did not have. What would have happened to me? I think I would be dead now. Up till that point, I had not had a pharmaceutical drug in 9 years.
Well, let me ask you, what do you say to those skeptics who attack the doctors that you interview in your book?
So I interviewed Dr. Stanislaw Brzezinski out of Houston, who has been persecuted beyond belief. He's gone through lawsuits for over 10 years from pharmaceutical companies and the FDA. He keeps fighting them. He keeps winning. The big trial in '97, all his hundreds and hundreds of patients marched in front of the Houston courthouse saying, "Don't take away my medicines. He saved my life. He saved my son's life." And he fought the FDA and won. That speaks volumes to me.
Right. Well, just like you, I'm personally a believer in alternative medicine and in prevention. I always tell my patients, people should focus on wellness care, not illness care. So I couldn't agree with you more, but let me ask you, why do you think people are so afraid of alternative medicine?
I believe the reason that alternative medicine is attacked over and over viciously is because it threatens business. Now, to answer your question about prevention, I said to Dr. Brzezinski, how do we get cancer? He said, it's quite simple. We all have cancer in us, and we all have cancer protective genes. They're like light switches that get turned off with diet and lifestyle habits. I said, like what? And he said, well, you turn one off with chemicals and toxins in your food and in your household. You turn one off with bad food choices. He said, you turn one off by poor sleep, including a sleeping pill sleep. You turn one off by being high stressed and not managing your stress, and you turn one off if you have imbalanced hormones. If you have all 5 turned off, he said, you are likely a candidate for cancer. And I said, wow, that's most everybody. I said, can you turn them back on? He said, yes. You can balance your hormones. You can manage your stress. You can learn to sleep without drugs. You can eat organic food, and you can get the chemicals out of your food and your household. I think those 5 things are pretty simple.
So you really just gave us a prescription for a healthier life. Now, you mentioned hormone balance as one of these light switches. Well, everyone seems to think that they're going to get cancer if they take hormones, yet you believe really the complete opposite.
When we hit middle age, and middle age now is coming earlier and earlier due to stress, so a lot of women in their late 30s, early 40s are in hormonal decline and don't know it. Our doctors don't study it in medical school because medical schools are pharmaceutically funded, so they don't teach them about natural, non-patented hormones. When you restore yourself to hormonal balance through a blood test, and I think the best way is a 24-hour urine test out of Metametrics, which I have nothing to do with, you can fill the tank to exactly what your individual needs are in terms of achieving optimal health. You get your sex drive back. You get to sleep 8 and 9 hours a night like I do. You get your energy back. You lose the weight. the body itches go away, your hair comes back, it gets lustrous and shiny, you get less wrinkled, you just have a greater joie de vivre. And I'll tell you, to be a full-grown, middle-aged woman with all those qualities, with our wisdom and perspective, bioidentical hormones have made this the best part of my life that I've ever lived, and I'm 63.
Wow, 63 years old. Let me tell you, you are doing something right, Suzanne. Thank you so much for being on the show. I'll tell you, I wish we could do an entire show together. You got great information.
Me too. Let's do it sometime.
Sounds like a plan. You are truly a passionate healthcare advocate, and we wish you continued good health.
Thank you, Dr. Friedman.
If you'd like to ask me a health question, just go to our website, thebalancingact.com, and check out Ask the Doctor. And I will see you again next week.